Good morning. Today we'll explain the export process. To carry out a successful export process, it is required to follow these steps. Step 1. Market study and demand and location. Ask, why do we want to export? Where do we want to export? Which countries buy our product? Analyze the potential markets in which you want to venture, identifying their main characteristics such as consumption habits, cost, internal competition, and legislation. Also take into account the differentiating factors of the products with which you can guarantee success. Step 2. Register before the Chamber of Commerce and obtain the NID. Carry out the commercial registration of a natural person so that the NID is assigned, which will be consigned in the certificate of registration and of existence and legal representation. Step 3. Registration in the single tax registry route. Process the unique tax registry route in any office of the DIAN or Supercade. Step 4. Costing. In addition to the production cost, the cost associated with the shipment charge must be taken into account, for which it is necessary to know the term of international sales of Incoterms. Step 5. Request for the international quotation. Process by which the seller sends a document to their buyer abroad, where the price of the products is included, including the expense required to take them to the point of delivery. Step 6. Acceptance of the quote and establishment of the means of payment. The importance of this step is to establish the means of payment to ensure that the operation and the buyer pay, according to their obligation, the cost of the export. Payment methods: direct loan, letter of credit, compensation accounts, financing of the foreign exchange market intermediary, direct financing from the provider, medium and long-term external credit, leasing, payment by international credit card, payment of imports in legal currency, advance payments, foreign direct investment, collection combination of payment methods. Step 7. Preparation of the product to be exported. Every export operation must take into account the rules, environmental conditions, and the type of handling that affect the packaging and packaging of the products. Similarly, there are standard symbols worldwide for the handling and warning of packaging. Step 8. Submission of the invoice. The commercial invoice is one of the fundamental documents in the import and export process. It determines the negotiation terms, exact amount of the product, and the corresponding values. Step 9. Procurement of transport and insurance. Here we determine who and which the products will be received in the hands of the buyers, which is done taking into account the negotiation term and the condition of the products, types of transports, air, maritime, terrestrial. Step 10. Request for export permits or seem good. We have to consult the DIAN if the product requires prior permits for the authorization of the export. After processing, submit the application for authorization of shipment before the IT system of the DIAN. Entities that emit good views. ICA, Ministry of Environment, CAR, National Meeting Agency, Culture Ministry, Colombian Institute of Anthropology and History. Everything depends of the product to be exported. Step 11. Producers, Ministries of Commerce, Industry and Tourism. Here we process the Certificate of Origin. This document allows exporting products with tariff preference to those countries with which Colombia has negotiated agreements. Step 12. Delivery the DEX export document. DEX Export Declaration Form serves as an instrument for the collection of any tax and duty. This must be present at the time the shipment is met. Step 13. Authorization and clearance of merchandise. Once we complete with the verification of the document required by the customs authority, the DIAN authorizes the shipment of the merchandise in the select means of transport. Step 14. Realization of the payment of the merchandise. The payment of the merchandise is received according to means of payments agreed and established previously. Step 15. Delivery of the declaration of change and sale of currency to the foreign exchange intermediary. We have to channel through the foreign exchange market the currency coming from shipments within the 6 months following the date of receipt corresponding to both export already made and to receive it, as an advance payment for future orders of goods. Step 16. Request for the return of IVA. The return is request from the DIAN provided that the exported good has used inputs and raw material acquired in Colombia. Thank you.